So I have a fascination with wine. I love wine, I'm very interested in wine, I'm particularly keen to know more about it and to learn what it is to be able to taste and experience all the things that go on in wine. But I think it's a rich area for philosophical contemplation. Why? Because we tend to think of wine tasting as very simple. We put something in our mouths and we have an immediate reaction, I like it, I don't like it. And yet, there's more than just liking. What does the wine taste like? So when I ask people to try a wine and I say to them, what is it like? And they tell me, I like it. I say, well, I'm not talking about you. What is the wine like? Now I want them to focus on the wine and talk about its properties. And of course, something is going on in any good, well-made wine, which is offering a sort of complexity of many things happening at once that are harmoniously combined to produce a single, usually very pleasurable experience. And it's very difficult to get at that complexity, and we often miss it because we're focused on just getting the verdict about liking. But realizing that when we're tasting a wine, we're using many senses. You're using your sense of smell, you're using your sense of taste, you're using the sense of touch. Is the wine velvety or silky or like satin in the mouth? You're using an awful lot of your senses, but so quickly that it produces a single experience that we think of as simple, but it's far from simple. And the other thing, of course, is that when people are tasting wine, they often have conversations that are deeply philosophical. Does the wine taste the same to you as it does to me? If you like it and I don't, can it be that we are tasting the same thing, or does it taste differently to you than to me? Is the taste of the wine in the wine? Is it just in the mind of the drinker? Is it some relation between the two? Is there such a thing as objective taste? Is there such a thing of there being an objective judgment about the quality of a wine? Can we perceive quality as an objective property of it? Now, subjectivity, objectivity, these are core issues in philosophy, and you can pursue all of them when you're looking at the issue of how we taste and perceive and appreciate wine. And of course, there's the big issue about whether questions of taste are merely subjective. Is it just a matter of opinion? And of course, if it is, there's no such thing as disagreement. When you say, this isn't a good wine, and I say, I disagree, I think it's a very good wine, if you mean by that, I like it, and I mean, I don't like it, we're not disagreeing, because you're making a claim about you, I'm making a claim about me. But I think there are judgments and disagreements to be had about what's going on in a wine. So I think wine is a very, very useful source for looking at, classic issues about subjectivity, objectivity of taste. I think the other thing that wine allows us to focus on is the relationship between science and subjectivity, because we know there's an awful lot of very good wine science that goes on. I work with analytic chemists and enologists and winemakers, and we talk about the various very technical things that they can do to improve the quality of their wine. Now, they're using a lot of science, but it's in the service of producing a certain subjective experience in the taster, an enjoyment or a pleasure in that wine, and what they recognize as a well-balanced or harmonious wine. So now we've got science producing something that has to result in a certain aesthetic, subjective experience. This is the mind-body problem in action, so I think it's a very good place to start.